Okay, playing video games. We're towards the end of the C playthrough. Might be approaching the end game. We'll see. Good time to find a bunch of side quests to do. Yeah, hiatus was July through January. Ice cream for breakfast is correct. I've had ice cream for breakfast because I'm an adult and because breakfast is a scam. Right. Alright, unlock the tower. I think is... I like how that area describes a tower even before there's one there. This cave is the closest, I think. Hey, how you doing? How goes it, Serp? There's a few quests in the resistance camp to do. Okay. If I approach the point of no return for side quests, let me know. The radio tower is near it. Clever. Procrastastic. You're there. That's all there is to optimum breakfasting. You can eat whatever you want for whatever meal that you want. Approaching the point of no return? No. Which quest should I do then? The song is definitely has new instruments in it. Much more juggly than before. So after Darkstar mentioned that we were possibly going to beat the game today, I got really puzzled by how long to beat, which I'm sure this has been what's been stressing everybody else out. Because the main story estimate is 20 hours, which if I hadn't done any side quests, given we spent an entire session and a half on them, we might actually be doing it in 20 hours. So do we think the main story estimate all along was for beating the main non-joke endings and main plus extra is all side quests or something else entirely? Alright, give me your quests. No. Sure, odd job. Okay.
Okay, that's everything the twins asked for.
Oh. I see. And it's like one of the few games that's going to end up with that problem, I guess. Presumably they have a quest chain. Yeah, okay. Because it's not something that we could have discussed at really great length. Because it's kind of a spoiler for the game itself. I booted up today thinking there'd be an entire... like we'd maybe get to the end of the C playthrough and then have a long D playthrough from the little preview cutscene that they showed earlier. Okay. Map icons, quest destination, errand... Desert housing complex probably gets me there. Off we go. Excuse me, sorry. Got up early this morning to take Ganymede Native hiking at Bandelier National Monument. I'll probably post some of the pictures in Discord. Me IRL later. Let me double check the map. Straight and then left, it looks like. Bandelier is super cool. It's like cliff dwellings. Los Alamos is a mesa that's formed from volcanic activity. So there's all this, they call it tuff, T-U-F-F. And tuff is like really, really soft rock that erodes easily, and it's easy to like scrape away with a very simple tool. So there's signs of human activity there from like 10,000 years ago, which is an absurd number. We were talking about how it's kind of hard to fathom the difference between before Christ and like anything that's also before Christ. 2,000 versus 4,000 years ago. Wait, is this not a valid way to get over there? Put it on the map. You guys chatting and hide. Come on. Is this like an under... I see people up there. I don't know if this is actually, Grow through where I fought Adam. Is that through... near the save point that I loaded into, the housing complex? I guess I can try to look at the map and see if it makes sense. Hold on. It doesn't. Like that circle, I think, was where I fought him. So like back to the save point and around this way. I might be right. Dock and hide, like I just was puzzled by props. Ignore that. So that's what you all were up to. Okay. That's awesome, Kaimom. I get a different kind of awe from seeing old relics from ancient humans than from just appreciating nature in general, you know? This is the right way, isn't it? Ish. Maybe it'll work. Like, the Bandelier National Monument with all the cliff dwellings has a lot of petroglyphs, which are carvings in the rock. And most of them are like little shitty stick figures and smiley faces and things like that. Which is kind of cool. It's kind of like how I think it's extra difficult to empathize with our ancestors sometimes, because most of our leftover remnants of them are ruins, or in the case of like recent ancestors, black and white photographs where they weren't really allowed to smile. So you kind of get this imperfect picture. Like, have you ever seen any pictures of ancient Greek statues that have been restored with what they expected was the original paint? Like really garish and colorful. I think I agree, Propagable. It's actually a very frustrating fiction trope. I don't like when a story involves a character going to the past or bringing a person from the distant past into the present, and they act like they can't possibly conceive of what's happening. Like, it's all crazy magic.
Finding one in a place like this won't be easy.
I feel like if you grabbed a cave kid from 10,000 years ago and brought them here, they'd adapt more quickly than you'd think. Yeah, like Pompeii graffiti, exactly. Hey, thanks for the auto house, No Dice. You're around. How's Rocket League been treating you? That's awesome, Kaimon. Nice. I like sharing that kind of stuff with kids. I've been doing that with Cameron and Jaden lately. How receptive would you say Kaimon is to that sort of thing? Does she think it's really cool? Puzzle. Not sure if this is right. This looks like a drop off that I can't undo. There's more shit over by the worm asshole. Maybe this way. Excuse you. No, this is where I was stuck earlier. Oh, Desert Rose. I must have just got it, didn't I? Oh, I see the little red markers now. The mini red markers on the map. I thought it was just a big, orange circle at first. Alright, that's cool.
That's the last Desert Rose.
That's pretty
Better
neat.
get these back to Devola and Popola.
That's awesome, Kaimon. Sometimes it can be a struggle, I think, to get kids to appreciate museums. Right. Culture shock's definitely a thing. But I think, like, basic cognitive ability is almost this, if not the same. Like, you could have pretty easily had an Einstein-type person, or someone with a lot of emotional or social intelligence born 10,000 years ago, and they just don't have the foundation of knowledge and civilization to do as much with it, right? So we were talking about during the Jaden chiptune streams, what do you think, like, Beethoven or Mozart would do with Fruity Loops or Family Tracker or modern sequencing software? Oh, awesome! Sounds rad, sir. Sounds like you made some good connections, right? Okay, back to the village, or the resistance camp. Of course! I absolutely would be. And I will confirm that with him and his parents, but yeah, it would be good for him to get an actual active project. Find out if he's... I think Jaden's equipped to put out high-quality Family Tracker, like NES-style music now. I think he needs a Jedi Master for, like, FL Studio, more fake-wit-style music. So depending on what he's looking for, if he's looking for, like, a Shovel Knight sort of soundtrack, I think Jaden's capable of putting that out today with some discipline and focus. Yeah, feel free to share his SoundCloud.
Those two sure draw some difficult assignments, huh?
Hypothesis. Continued difficult assignments will eventually have a deleterious effect on the entire organization.
Maybe I should talk this over with Anemone.
Also be pretty crazy to not have thousands of years of history to look at. If you're an ancient Egyptian, there's basically nothing before you that you know of. Yeah. We take that for granted. A lot for granted. Anemone? Like a speech given by a priest? Like grits? I'm forgiving them. Why do you two keep getting these incredibly dangerous odd jobs? Interesting.
Pod, search for regions where I might be able to obtain tree sap.
Search already performed. Regions rich in tree sap marked on map.
Is it the Forest
Hopefully
Kingdom?
This is enough sap.
You already have the sap? Okay. Thank you. I know this must have been difficult. A section dedicated to finished heavy metal. Awesome. You're in like the metal promised land, right, Kaimam? Oh, 9S is a smug bastard? Interesting. Getting wasted. I don't think he's terribly smug in English. At least that wouldn't be the first word I'd use to describe him. Meek? Friend-zoned? She's so wasted. Is there another step to that quest? Okay. Back to... It's a good question. Use friend zone as a shorthand for, like, an unrequited love type situation. Sort of has uncomfortable modern implications, I think. I don't think 9S is super weird about it. Alright, up we go. I'll probably put a clamper on the conversation real fast here. We'll go quarantine, but friend zone is typically used by dudes to imply they deserve something more than a friendship from a girl that they're interested in. It's kind of a selfish connotation that I'm not a fan of. There's also a less sinister undertone, which is just like, oh, I'd like to be in a relationship with her, but she just wants to be friends, and that's the end.
Mail notification received from access point.
Right. It's a good way to put it, prop.
Hello, and thank you for choosing Tower System Services.
I'm going to read this new mail.
But locks on each sub-unit must be deactivated before accessing the main tower. Have a great day.
What do we got? Oh wait, 2B still has stuff. Kind of bored out of my mind here. Do you still have a cave that I can go to? Thousands of years have passed since we humans were driven to the moon. While the war remains deadlocked, we know our continued safety is only possible thanks to your valiant efforts. Thanks. Go into fishing at all? Yeah, it's cool. We can move on. Huh. The scheduled correspondence. It was by the forest entrance, was that right? I guess I can pop over there real quick. Doesn't look like I can do anything at the tower right now. Although that's where my main quest is pointing me. It was like Forest Zone Center, maybe? Oh, where's the other cave? Look behind the tower, there's a sewer pipe jutting out of the wall. Okay. Oh, cool. Has it been there the whole game, or just in this section after the tower got built up? Okay. See if I can remember how the hell to get over there. I think that's it right there, right? Hug the right wall. Sorry about your king, guys. A2's kind of a butt. Now, it seems like when you use A2 and you hold the dash button, she gets a little burst of speed if you hold it for just long enough. Like it seemed to be a built-in cadence that you should be pressing the dash button, but is it still more efficient to just mash R2 the whole time regardless? It's always interesting to think about the most efficient form of locomotion in games. I think Jonathan Charlotte's probably the weirdest one. Doesn't look like there's actually anything here. We're not going to fight the boss today. I thought maybe Emil would be down here since he invited me to his shop. Dash spammer run at max speed. Speedrunners change it up then. Alright, I'm gonna check out this cave behind the tower. Hey, Moose Bro. Alright. I was trying to describe this game and my dilemma with it to John when we were out hiking this morning. That, like, I like it, I think it's really good, and I think that every third or fourth hour of the game is absolutely fucking incredible, like some of the best game storytelling I've ever seen, and then there's bits in between that I'm not as big of a fan of, and like trying to find a way to present that idea without like throwing the baby out with the bathwater is challenging. He actually recommended the critic sandwich, which is to say, I like this, here's something that frustrates me about it, but it's good. Sandwich whatever your complaint is between two bits of praise, so try to do that as formulaically as possible. There's a sewer pipe behind this thing, so get to that one. So the one I just climbed up, that's not it either. You just saw it. The one that's way up there? I don't think I could get up there. Alright. Gotcha. Acceleration from sharp turns on uneven terrain. Okay. Interesting. I don't remember where it was exactly that I saw it. It's near here, right? I'm gonna back up just so I can get a better view of the area. I'm glad that actually has collision. I was worried for a second. Alright, so I came out from that pipe down there. Is that it down there, maybe? No, that's under the freeway. Oh, I see it. There we go. Nope. This is not dropping in Fortnite. Wait, so not this? Oh wait, what? Oh, clever. Look how shiny he is. It's really interesting, like, if you move through water, we need to do something with the texture to make it look like you're a little bit wet. I think what game has handled the wet clothes the best? Yeah, just there. Nothing drawing you to it directly. It's very cool. Is this unique music in this area too? Yeah, it's some like Dark Souls level hidden zone. I love when Miyazaki will do that. He'll hide a giant section of level, put a lot of work into the level design, and risk that someone will not find it at all. Like the dragon area in Dark Souls 3. That's pretty sweet. Thanks for pointing it out to me. I would not have thought to check here. I almost got fooled into thinking there was nothing. I didn't see the elevator right away. Yeah, Ash Lake. Ash Lake's a pretty great one. 2 back-to-back invisible walls. I actually missed it. I feel bad because it's pretty well... it's pretty well conveyed. You bust open the first invisible wall and there's a really shitty chest with like a garbage item in it. Usually is a tell. Suspect something's up. Good XP here too. Oh, cool. I noticed all the enemies are like level 60. My chips being maxed matter anymore? If I'm that close to the end. I guess I can go work back to town before I go to the end game and sell all my junk and see if I can fuse anything. Lower level if you come here during A or B. We'll see. Really glad I don't have to fight those things normally. Meteorite. Cool. Goes way down there. I wonder, I'm trying to think, does Dark Souls communicate? Oh my god, ouch. So does Dark Souls communicate to the player that they could potentially find crazy hidden stuff like Ash Lake? Is there something that is forced to happen early on? I guess the first time you hit an invisible wall. Illusory wall, I should say. The soapstone messages. Yeah. I think it works. Actually, really like the soapstone model. It's a neat way to like get a. Right, I can't check my inventory when I'm in the air. It's a great way to get like a gamer community thing going on. Intel. Gestalt report 7. Because of the massive Legion outbreak in the Tokyo area. Legion is the disease that basically wiped everybody out, right? Thought we saw that already. So, okay, hold on. I remember we read this last time, but I didn't really process it fully. The machines are alien, right? The machines were made by the aliens that died a long time ago. The aliens are actually real. So they weren't able to make, like, combat androids until, after the machines showed up. Presumably. There's a lot of dudes in here. Okay. Yorha in particular. And the special thing about Yorha is that they have a black box that lets them respawn when they die. Other androids do not have that ability. I'm gonna die in here. I've got the vision of the Monado. Right. Would be unethical. Interesting ethical system in this game. Monato's very inaccurate. Well, I mean, if you're looking at it from a Xenoblade Chronicles perspective, where the vision is what keeps you from dying. Yo, go. Oh no. That's awful. I'm sorry to hear that, Aki. Okay, let me see if I can junk some of these particularly shitty chips. The drops from these guys particularly good. Select and destroy a chip. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't destroying anything important. Get rid of most of these hijack boosts. Stuff I can fuse. Now, this area is huge. Is that pipe the only way to get in here? It's my favorite enemy, the drill snake. I feel like almost every enemy I've seen in this game is down here. Ultra high level version. Really need to save. I guess if I die, I just won't come back. I'm gonna die this attempt to get him next time. Yeah. I don't succeed often from hyping myself up. I feel like it creates more pressure, and I'm like, this is the attempt that I'm gonna win. I probably wouldn't be a very good speedrunner. A lot of attack XP for that guy. Nice. Probably dump the XP meter now. I don't think it costs that much. So far, we haven't been able to die from falling. Famous last words, right? Oh, well, shit. Didn't kill me. It's very pretty here. There's a lot of crafting materials in here. Eat flashlight. Given that the rest of the game is actually pretty small, I'm extra surprised at the size of this optional area. Archives, Old World. Monster, rampaging weapons. Incident that occurred at the National Arms Laboratory in June. Okay. Maso? Something I should know about? Aw. Poor murdered robot. Hey, is this where I came in? No, I don't think so. Oh shit. It probably was where I came in. Didn't realize there was a one-way drop there. Oof. Or maybe not. Oh god. Yeah, I got turned around. Hopefully the one elevator wasn't like a save point, and the other elevator is death. Yo. Byzantine requirements for a super boss? Do you think it adds a lot of value to the playthrough? Is there a super boss down here? Okay. Wouldn't call it significant side content. Ah, very good. Oh my god. Well, that's kind of cool. That's neat. Is there a super boss in this room sometimes? That's kind of awesome.
Hypothesis. This is the residence of the inscrutable life form known as Emil.
Why are a billion dead people outside his room?
Theft of physical objects may disturb the resident.
Is Emil the super boss? Let's not take that thing, maybe. There's a super boss that requires you to max out every weapon. Yeah, what's the trigger? Is that it? Max out every weapon? Good god. I don't know how I get out of here now, to be honest. Shit. Kill these things so I don't have to deal with them. Okay. Are they really hard? I feel like this game reminds me, again, mechanically of FF14, in that the game mechanics sort of feel like they're designed for really, really hard post-game content, is where the decisions really start to matter. Which means that the base game isn't all that challenging. You get away with a lot of button mashing and kill spamming. Actually, I like that about 14, though. I think that makes most of the content in 14 pretty accessible, given that all the abilities are balanced for very challenging Savage and Ultimate contents. You guys can spoil all the stuff about the super bosses if you want. Yeah, I love the room full of player corpses right before a meal. It's fantastic. Yeah, accessible and easier. It's worth distinguishing between the two. I think I agree about that. This is where I came in. So, okay, here's the other elevator. Okay, makes sense. So I thought maybe it was an elevator that took me back. The actual big super boss is really hard. If you die, you can delete your save file to make it easier for other players. How does it make it easier for other players, and how does the game... That is actually really cool. How does the game communicate to you to do that? Very bullet hell. Can you, like, do the dash witch time through most of it, or not really? I thought the constant online checks were checking for loading in player corpses near you. Okay. I think I might quickly pop back to the resistance camp and make sure I'm just topped off on healing items. Weakening the super boss. So how does it weaken him? Just reduces his health damage dealt? Like, what is... How does the game tell you should delete your save file? I like the concept. I'm just trying to understand, like, what the game actually does to convey that to the player. Buy some gunk here. Hello. Shop. You're the wrong person, but that's okay. Oh wow, I could upgrade the pods all this time? I don't have any of this shit. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Should only really be fusing two of a kind that have the little black diamond next to them, right? Otherwise, it ends up costing too much to be worth it. Really do with the anti-chain damage. Auto heal's kind of junk, though, isn't it? It could be out of damage for a long time for it to matter. Yeah. Hey, Ludifex, how you doing? How have you been? 50% chance enemies drop healing items if defeated by hacking. Specific. Nice. All heals are bad if you don't get hit. You joke, but it's kind of true. Got me in pretty big trouble in Bloodborne, or Dark Souls 2. I hate investing in max health. It's like my least favorite upgrade in video games. It's basically agreeing that I'll play badly later on. And I will play badly, like, it's a philosophical problem I have with admitting it. 5% chance of reviving. Max health is really valuable in Path of Exile. For reasons other than survivability, or mostly survivability? Yeah. Is it because it connects to other abilities? I remember health being really important in Diablo 2, because you had to get to certain breakpoints where you weren't going to get one shot. Not so much offense is the only thing you care about, but more that, there's probably enough selling, sell all this stuff. More that in some games, all damage is avoidable, and in some games, some damage is unavoidable. You kind of have to make a determination early on which kind of game you have. It's possible to never get hit in Dark Souls. Unlikely, but it's possible. Probably should get, like, a few of these at least. I'm gonna remember what any of them are. Okay, should be all I need. Oh, what does auto attack do? Does that make the button auto fire? Oh, only equip on easy mode. Mechanics like regen and life leech being percentage based. Right, that makes sense. I know Diablo 3 moved away from like life leech because it was way too strong. But I think it's fun being strong, especially having it tied to your max health. Okay, plug-in chips. Okay. I think think I fused some chips that I had equipped, so I need to double check here. Deadly heal. This is all my equipped ones, okay. Chain damage is still equipped, right? I have space for 2 more. I don't think I have anything that costs 2. I guess I could dump my XP thing. No, it costs 1. That's fine. Okay, let's go. See what we're doing. Like, you are capable of dodging many sources of damage in a game like Diablo, but there's some sources of damage that you simply cannot avoid, period. So that's the sort of game where I think that defense is more interesting. I like games that give you some kind of offensive benefit for investing in defense, whether it's letting your damage partially scale by points spent on max health or defense. Defense can be boring if you're not careful, though, because it can often end up just being a tax, survivability tax. It no longer feels like you're playing the game more efficiently or more quickly. Maybe then I have to hit the thing after I do that. Defense in Undertale. Yeah. Undertale is a game where it works really well. I like that as a core mechanic. Strongest build in all this story is by far one that focused only on health and equipped a trinket that gave you strength on unarmed attacks based on a percentage of your max health. Nice. I was just talking about the way Undertale prioritizes a defensive playstyle by not having another option. Even tanks, I think, a tank kind of needs to have a second order thing to play with. Usually I think that's aggro management. Just being defensive by itself usually isn't super fun, unless if you can find other ways to, like, defend the party, use a cover mechanic cleverly. Having more health makes enemies do more damage. Oh boy, special prize. I like the really long hack meter. Oh, does that thing decay over time? I think it does. Shit. It's not worth it. The risk is too high and the benefit is too low. Oh, that's cool. Bunch of damage to both you and everything in radius of you, scaling off your max HP. So you take a bunch of damage. That's cool. Oh man, I'm kind of excited to try Path of Exile. It sounds like it has a lot of
They won't stop coming.
nutty ability builds that are hard to understand immediately.
Allies?
Kind of like a, hey, it's them.
Wait,
They're here to help.
You?
9S, we've been expecting you.
It's the bad thing. 9S is pretty traumatized. He immediately assumes they're gonna attack him. Okay, this doesn't end well for everybody.
Devila? Obala? What are you doing here?
Remember your promise?
What are you talking about?
Come on, 9S. Hack in while you can.
None of this makes any sense.
We'll explain everything once we're inside.
There's a cool mental puzzle phenomenon you get when you hear about a strong like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone deck and you look at the deck list and first you're like, wait, I don't understand why this is a big deal, and then trying to tease it out and figure out what the intended mechanic is without having to read it. It's kind of a similar effect in Diablo and Path of Exile builds.
We've got this, 9S.
Hack
You just
faster.
focus on hacking.
I'm working on it. Near the Streamham Marstead, I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. Though there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to play them all. That means we will never run out. If you'd like to see a list of all the games we've played so far, you can go to games.marstead.com, and you can even vote for the next awesome game. Click on the voting status tab at the bottom of that sheet. This game is actually added via the voting spreadsheet. But if you're just hanging out, lurking, that's totally cool. It's good to have you. Righteous Fire is one of those kinds of spells in Path of Exile. It's fun.
What's this barrier?
Analysis. It is part of a closed defensive system.
Well, how do I break it down?
Hypothesis.
Question.
Unit 9S could permit its self-consciousness data to lose control.
Oh, that sounds great.
Research has an
Okay.
probability of temporarily paralyzing the
Uh-huh.
barrier.
That's almost as bad as not going in at all.
That just raises further questions.
Blink builds.
What happened?
It's the barrier.
Shit, man.
No, don't. You can't do anything. The wall's got a self-working
Enough!
algorithm.
Devil and I, we have to atone for our sins no matter what!
What
If
their
you do
sins
that,
are.
Your circuits will.
Right.
Cool.
Devila!
I hope you don't regret this.
We were able to interact with them earlier, right? Like in the A and B playthroughs where they just kind of double underline them in the C playthrough to make sure you got something out of that sequence. Something, quote, about using rage to resurrect the CPU. Sell rare chips in AB. Hey. Open it now. Hey, we're playing Lost Odyssey again. Dusty wind kisses my cheeks. Buried in sand, we press forward one step at a time, nowhere else to go. But our models, the Devil and Popola models, are defective. First we woke, there were still people. They had flesh, egos, emotions, souls. The issue is a single order. Function as observers of Project Gestalt. Oh, so they're super old. This is the sole mission of the twin Devil and Popola models. Pretty much everything Project Gestalt related so far has been from the original NieR. say that there were 2 games replicating Gestalt, but we only got one of them in the US. Is that right? Or in the West? Sparkle in our eyes, a sense of pride at having been entrusted with humanity's future. There's anxiety as well. We existed as a pair. We shared destiny's burden as a pair. It's the same game, it's just one of them, the main character, looks old, and one of them, they look young. It's weird. Oh, interesting. How do you make choices in a flashback sequence? I like the way they handle callbacks to the first game so far. Without having played it, I don't know how, like, on the nose, one-to-one they are. Right, Ludifex? It's like Lost Odyssey stories. Over the moon with pride. Replicants had gained a sense of self, and the black scrawl started reading out of control. Does this play out the same way, even if I didn't do their side quest before this? I guess they were planting them being important right at the start of the C playthrough, regardless. See a game pulling that off. It wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. All thanks to a pair of models from another town. Project Gestalt's end. World's observers ended on the day the project collapsed. All due to the actions of Devla and Popla models from another town. The original Gestalt lost, humanity was doomed to inevitable extinction. So, is replicant a word that has meaning in the first NieR? Does it mean something like android? Or is it like specifically an android that houses the soul of a human? So they seem to be talking about. As long as it doesn't involve any information that hasn't yet been revealed in the game. Unprovoked violence at the hands of a resistance member. This is why an enemy was making them do dangerous things. Oh, jeez. Glad the game gives you the choice to not read this immediately, right? I think that's smart. You could argue that it's really cool. I like it. It is interrupting the momentum of going into the tower, but it was my choice to open it. It's kind of like the Memories in Lost Odyssey in that respect. Reminds me of like a death monologue in Metal Gear. Very cool. I think they probably have good reason to want to delay what you experience in the tower for as long as possible to build dread. Oh, there's only me. Yeah, that was my understanding. Project Gestalt was them trying to make new bodies for humans who are dying because of a virus. Neat. Failure to manage the area resulted in the collapse of the Gestalt system, which led to the decimation of the human race. With the discovery of its instability, the twin system was removed from future Android production designs. Following the incident, the Devil and Poplar models were not dismantled. To prevent further unexpected behavior, they underwent a memory wipe. They are reprogrammed to generate constant feelings of guilt.
That is all
Jesus.
that remains from their personal record during the era in which they were referred to as administrators.
I see.
Query: why do the androids Devila and Popola seem to prefer death over surviving alone? There was a very high probability that at least one could escape.
I see.
I understand.
Affirmative.
Oh man. I'd like
Query:
to save.
why does this tower possess an entrance at all? All material transport takes place via aerial vehicles. It is irrational for an infiltration route to be so easily accessible. Hypothesis: entrance is a trap.
Thanks. I'm surprised this game deals so closely with bodies being important. You think that like it would be like the Geth, where at this level of development, they would just exist on servers and networks.
I don't care. I just have to kill them all.
That's pretty neat. The pod is always so helpful.
Corrupted your
Finally.
units.
Oh. Yeah, I like it. But it's longer than the last big white area.
Choosing Tower System Services. We're so pleased you've chosen to visit the tower today. Don't forget about the special prize for the guest who unlocks the last subunit in the room just ahead. You're going to love it.
The wrong hole. Hey. They look familiar.
2B models?
Oh, I didn't realize there were multiple models. I guess they had to replant her black box in another model, right? He's gonna go all nutty and laugh.
I'm glad I got to see you here. I truly am. I'll tear you apart. Every last one of you!
Oh, 9S. Oh, there's like a comical number of them. It's like a giant stack of Goombas. I don't think 9S is doing too hot. He's having a pretty bad Tuesday. Shit, I'm already dead. It's a Futurama episode where, like, Bender goes to college, drops out of college, gets addicted to drugs, joins a gang. Hoards himself out. He's describing the situation, and Hermes is like, wow, Mom, you've had one hell of a day. At Tuesday/Wednesdays. No. Tuesday Hack Wednesday.
Don't worry, I'm going to kill you now.
He does a really good job with freaked out PTSD 9S, I think. I do hope the whole 2A misunderstanding gets resolved, though. I like the decision to have him think that shit's bad, but I don't like the dramatic irony element of the audience knowing that A2 didn't, like, murder her, but 9S not knowing that. Oh, come on. Matrix Reloaded flashbacks, right? I'll just kill you with my own hands! And mostly hacking, but I'll also use my hands sometimes. Spare bodies, the ones that she loads back into, presumably. There's only one black box. Really interesting to me that, like...
Alert. Enemies detected.
Still a few stragglers, huh?
Well, I guess, so what do you lose when you die in this game? You have to recover your body, but don't you also lose almost all of your progress in the process? You don't keep any chips that dropped for XP that you earned, or do you? Sort of 9S's mental decline with character drama. Okay, I guess I could see that. Because then the dramatic irony is you, the player, recognize that something is seriously wrong with 9S. Which is harder to communicate if you are controlling him and empathizing with his actions.
The structure known as the tower has opened its gate.
Let's check it out.
And in this case, we specifically should not be empathizing with 9S, otherwise we don't recognize it. He's fucked up. Okay. It's a pretty rational argument. I can get behind that. Yeah. Now I'll give credit where credit's due. I've been rolling my eyes about the, Friends episode, comic, romantic comedy, misunderstanding thing, but, like, if that is actually the intent, then that's very, very reasonable. Right. He hasn't really run into her more than just the first time. Yeah. No, you raise a good point. Now I have to fight stuff again.
Let's see what you've got. Better shut off your pain circuits.
Oh, they were outside. They like Dead Zone.
This is a Yorha corpse.
Hypothesis. The corpse is likely a result of Yorha Unit 9S's advance through the area.
Didn't actually kill any of those, but that's cool. Maybe they just died from sadness because I ignored them.
What's the purpose of
See
this
them at all.
structure?
Unknown. Proposal. Gather additional data.
Someday I need to teach you how to be helpful.
Yeah, right. Go out like Amidala. She died of a broken heart. You had a way to do it, guys. Why? I need more hexagons. Too many squares. 50% more sides, please. Whoa. Library. Hexagonal cubes. Serp's just joking about
What's up with this place?
sci-fi hexagons are everywhere. There might even be a TV Tropes article about it.
What's that?
A library is a data storage facility constructed by past human civilizations.
You got Adam and Eve earlier reading books.
I suppose we have to hack in to look at the data, yeah? Help me out, Pod.
Affirmative. Hacking interface access rights granted to Yorha Unit A2.
That's
Peachy.
neat. Something I really like about this game and this setting that I haven't really seen explored in other stories about robots and androids is just this concept of the complete irrelevance of humans and the ongoing saga of their evolution. I'm trying to think of other... I guess maybe The Matrix starts to explore that idea in the Animatrix and then almost totally drops it in Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions. Rooms are referenced in NieR 1. Drinking tea and hacking books. It's a QR code. Oh, of course. The longest road. Thanks, Wood Effects, go for it. Whoa. Atom unit storage record, Eve unit storage record. Human server establishments. I don't think this is a chronological order. Plant and animal species. Preservation record.
This tower looks like a data gathering system for the machines.
Actually climb. Hack world. We haven't had to do that before with destroying 4 isolated blocks. They did a good job of conveying it there. Predicted human server infiltration route, the dummy protection installation route, genetic storage warehouse location information. Load-bearing hacking skills.
These records are from the human server on the moon. The machines hacked that deep into the system, huh?
I forget, A2 isn't privy to the whole situation about humans, right? Or if she is, that hasn't happened on screen. Only 9S's. Yeah, we don't know a lot about her. Class 1 patient, Yona. Renal failure. Patient's condition makes further treatment impossible. A report will be submitted to the management committee detailing courses of action in the event of the patient's death. 5 additional doctors. Huh. Is that a NieR 1 thing, maybe?
Some records on old humans. Damn it, this is useless. There's too many of them.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, Prophet Evil, 2 women can't have a baby in 4.5 months. This is cool. Make you walk all slow in here. These little trophy models of all the different enemies in the game. Or if they're different silver or gold based on how many of them I've actually fought. Models of the bosses. It's cute. I do really like the way that they're doing callbacks in this game.
Huh? What's that?
It's a cool way to do that.
Operational summary of model number 2 in Project Yorha. This data.
It's another ball boss. Oh, golly. Are we going to cut away to 9S? Could you fight the ball boss off screen? No, he's having a bad day. Right, come on. Oh, okay. Oh, right on. It's like USB. You could have like put the arm in the wrong way and then taken it out and put it in the other way. It still didn't work. And then switching it again, and that time it works.
I can't stop. I have to keep fighting.
Alright.
Alert. Virus detected in locomotion region. High probability that infection source is transplanted parts from corrupted units. Proposal. Hack into self and eliminate virus.
Okay.
On it.
Alright. This is what happens when you put your waifu's arm in your... So I like how we've already established this level in the past. Music here is really great too. Take a like for speed upgrade.
Virus eliminated. 95% of functionality restored.
Now, is it actually 95%? Like, do I have slightly less max health or something right now? That'd be kind of cool. Modify Esperanto. Relapse in the original, just let units in preservation are now relapsing at an accelerated rate. The process of recording their bodies and gathering their DNA continues, but progress is poor. Okay, that's cool. Right. There's something cool about losing an arm in or even a hand in fiction. I don't know why it's such a common trope. Why it like feels cool when it happens, for lack of a better term. Hey, it's these spooky ghost girls from the B playthrough. What's up?
Welcome to the tower. Welcome to the tower.
You bastards!
Because you made it this far, we have a special announcement just for you.
Oh, I like the Ron Perlman sounding voice.
Once you destroy all the machine life forms here.
Oh, it doesn't actually sound like Ron Perlman. Losing a limb is character change. Right, it's like getting a really big scar or something, right? It's such a common trope. Just fun gameplay. Your Jesus. I think Ron Perlman's my favorite role of his is actually the Lich on Adventure Time. He has very few lines, but that shows like the king of dialogue precision. It only has 11 minutes per episode. Hey, this song sounds like found some Wookiees, some big Wookiees. They came to maul Darth Vader. I think it came up earlier in the game. I forgot what the actual name of the song is. It's public domain, right? I think a decent way to balance the hacking minigame, which is a cool way to distinguish 9S from 2B and A2, would be to only let you do it once per target. Still interesting then, because you have to like, you're going to use the AoE damage, you have to hack multiple enemies, eventually kill all of them with hacking only, and you wouldn't be able to get away with doing it on a boss. That's if, you know, people agree with Hapax that me just hacking everything is playing the game wrong. I personally think it's fine. It works for a second and forward playthrough. Like an energy system. Yeah, 5-second cooldown. Oh, if it fills up as you attack enemies, that'd be cool. Yeah, that was kind of the theme of the last episode of this game, talking about playing games wrong. It's hard. We used to have this, it was pretty simple feedback in when we used to play Mario Maker, which, by the way, I really hope that a new Mario Maker game comes out. I really enjoy doing that on stream. But anyway, occasionally someone would share a level that had a bunch of really crazy, cool challenges that you could do. But they also forgot to test it to make sure you couldn't, like, use a cape to avoid the entire stage. Or they might have added a ceiling that you could jump on top of, like Mario 1-2. Always lurking. And I'd be like, they'd be like, no, don't do it like that, you're doing it wrong. It's like, well, the onus is kind of on you to make it impossible for me to do it wrong, right?
To be.
Now you know everything.
I like the Hollow Knight idea, sir. He's really having a bad day.
We are conceptual human. Personalities.
You're not wrong, Marstead. You're just an asshole.
We cannot be destroyed.
Conceptual humans from the machine network. Cool. Oh, this setting is super rad. Being commander of the bunker. Vector bunker is into approaches to switch to new models. Enough combat data has been collected. The bunker will be disposed of by having it deliberately attacked by machines. All materials regarding the Yorha project, including this document, will be lost, and falsification of the information that mankind still resides on the moon will be complete.
Yorha Unit 9S. Your attack is meaningless.
This is a long
Your
one.
existence is meaningless.
Keep them coming. I'll destroy them all.
I do wish it didn't interrupt dialogue hacking. I think if you had to swing a bunch of times to get the power back, it might even be appropriate to give to 2B. Maybe 9S just has a much lower base cooldown on it or something. I said do that like 10 more times. You guys are dicks, you know that? I'm just a little bummed. I suppose that's true. Yeah. The second playthrough probably could have done with a little bit more perspective jumping, but in order to do that, they would have had to have had 9S be separate from 2B more. Maybe like fast forwarding through stuff. I guess sometimes you get a different view of the fight, like you get to see the enemy's name when 2B couldn't see that. I'm just spitballing here. But I only mean in the context of having like a thing that you unlock through attacking, something that you can only use infrequently. Because they clearly want to have the hack mechanic for 2B for the one boss fight in the carnival, and then they briefly give it to A2 to justify why she can read the books. Yeah, I think you could still intersperse those cutscenes with less crusted between them, right? It wasn't that long. Having the hack ability made it less stressful. The parts where it diverged were definitely the best parts. The part where you're in the robot factory, the become as gods thing, where you're possessing different robots, it was super rad. Oh, they can't hack because of, like, Yoko Taro's edict. One thing follows the other. Man, he's going nutty. Sure, but like that's only true because of the mechanics that they decided to implement. It's not a core feature of the universe, I don't think. Either way, I think they could have taken a second pass at how hacking works. Shit, I have to fight it anyway. Give me a quick sec to... I almost got a chance. Let's see. So that's what I was talking about though, Manok, is that you can't hack everything all the time. If it... So here's the trajectory of the conversation. Hacking should maybe be limited a bit. Yeah, it would be nice if it had a cooldown. And then Serp suggested, what if it had like a Hollow Knight style energy system where you regenerated energy by attacking? I'm like, oh, well, if that's the case, that's a little bit more balance enough that you could even maybe give it to the other characters and just have it generate very, very, very slowly for characters other than that is. It's not important, though. We can move on. It's powerful in that it carries, like, basically zero risk.
Damn it!
Alert. Enemy hacking detected.
Cool.
Retreat immediately.
I love that it's the traditional enemies. Attacking refills it. Current molecules, yeah, I think that's great. I didn't know that about Ni no Kuni too. I feel that's like almost correct. The right way to do MP. Have MP be a reward for doing other things in the game, rather than have you carry resources along with you. Hey, thanks for the host, people. As you know, Tails does attacking refilling MP as well. I like the transition to top down, that's awesome. Like the Deus Ex Machina architect voice thing in this sequence. It's okay, we can move on for a minute. It was just a throwaway spitball comment.
Proposal.
What now?
Utilize the enemy's logical learning function to formulate a weakness.
I don't know what that means!
This mod has serious concerns about Unit A2's cognitive abilities.
It's fucking fun!
And explain it already!
Sense strategy would interrupt the enemy's logic circuits, causing a computational delay.
Meaning what?
Do not destroy the enemy.
Huh?
Striking at the logic circuit requires a certain number of enemies to remain extant for a certain period of time.
Oh, okay, it's like a Final Fantasy IV type thing. Make as much of a bullet hell as we possibly can. Cool. Machina Ex Machina.
Consciousness data saturation rate 30%.
It's also very amusing.
This is an awesome sequence. I really like this a lot. Oh, you have to kill them to set some event flags? Interesting.
The androids the human race left behind acted as if they wanted to be human. The machine life forms the aliens left behind acted as if they wanted to be human. We resemble each other so, but we are networked and thus we are
Oh, cool. Maybe they are going to experience that concept.
The enemy's defensive system is prompting an evolution of its logic.
Foolish androids. Why do you resist? All things end with accepting death, do they not?
Whoa. Hello, big lady.
Consciousness data saturation rate, 90%.
Ouch.
We are one, and yet we are many.
To make you dodge long enough to get out the exposition. Right.
We are the embodiment of the perfect being.
Hypothesis. The enemy has become aware of the diversity of life.
I see it. The light. We move on. Forward. To the future.
I like that A2 is the one that has to not kill stuff.
Consciousness data saturation rate, 100%. Hypothesis. The enemy's consciousness has begun to fracture.
It's like that Rick and Morty episode of The Simulation. Everyone with the blue hat.
We need more evolution.
Pat your head 7 times.
If we allow this android to continue living, we can create even more hardship for ourselves. Overcoming the crisis this creates will present an opportunity for our kind to evolve even further. We disagree. This android is dangerous. It must be destroyed immediately. Those who would doubt our victory are enemies. Do you truly think you can win?
Oh, that's awesome.
Analysis. The saturated consciousness is
That's very, like, Geth.
They're
Cool.
acting like humans.
That's fucking rad. I like that implication. The towers, maybe just like a giant server too for these things. Whoa. This looks like it's a battle platform. Oops.
Is this thing seriously still kicking?
speculation. It is driven by remaining data located within enemy servers.
It's a computer tower. It's overclocked as fuck.
Going until I kill them all?
That makes sense. I'm guessing speedrunners use the berserk mechanic a lot, right? It takes time.
This is messed up.
What the hell is this thing going on about?
Analysis. It appears to be a leak of the enemy's past memories.
Oh, is the name of this thing from NieR 1 or something? Later, Kai Mom. Thanks for hanging out. Seeing ya. Cool, I like these perspective shifts. speedrun, the speedrunners deal an insane amount of damage. I love the warning screen there. It's very bullet hell shooter. Yeah, bought a bunch of them. It was how figured to make the combat bearable. Alright, let's do this. Without being super over leveled. This is the C playthrough, that's correct. Hey, thanks for the auto host. Overboard? Oxygen not included. What kind of game is that? I think actually that Polarversky was playing that at one point. Did you happen to be popping over from Overboard's channel? First of all, if you're in the channel and you haven't already followed Overboard Gaming, you totally should. Dag and Brawley are awesome. They're very active on the Twitch subreddit. That's how I discovered them. Super cool dudes. If you're popping in from Overboard's stream, I'm Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe that there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to play them all. But that means that we're never going to run out. You can see the list of all the games we've played so far at games.marstead.com. And you can even vote for the next awesome game we're going to play on stream. This game was voted for. Hit that vote status tab on the bottom. But either way, welcome. It's good to have you. Excuse me. Yeah, having that 5% offensive heal is pretty nice. I don't have to stress as much about making a little healing consumable claw all the time. Do the consumables not actually work in the shooter mode? I feel like I'm doing the same amount of damage here. Excuse you. Thank you. Maybe it does affect damage. I don't see him having a health bar anymore, though.
It is a resource of some kind.
Used to make what?
Unknown.
Ow. Oh, right. These assholes. Do you have to shoot to disable their thingy? Okay. But the name of this song is Bipolar Nightmare. Yeah. Frequent cutting back and forth between 9S and A2 is pretty swell. I enjoy it as well. I like the cloud for the transition too. This is the first boss fight that's I really liked in a while. Is Roshi a thing from NieR 1? We made some comment about old memories. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's spot on it, Prop. Once we get it, it's like, okay, let's do another phase. Actually, I have to wonder if this game would work better for me if it had more perspective shifting during boss fights, like if this was the approach for most of the game. Oops, what was the skill self? No. It's that thingy. Oh, it's actually quite a bit faster. Hold on. I guess you get like 2 free shots off when it's up, maybe? I don't think these bosses are a reference. Yeah, but they've already built, there's already a precedent for robots that have the mind of a character in NieR 1, right? Like Emil. Ow. Oh shit, well, I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. Maybe I can ignore the ads here. Oh, I was trying to scroll earlier to get to the other buffs, that's what got me in trouble. Mm-hmm. They died a lot here. Does this game offer any, or does this area offer any checkpoints, or if you lose you have to start back from the beginning? There is some checkpointing. This would be a really great time to lose all your plug-in chips, right? Oh, so it's just a permanent game over because the bunker's gone. Oh, you just load a save? I do really like how the game uses a lot of the same principles in the different perspectives. Like, it doesn't feel like you're playing a totally different game with different physics and different rules. Alright, I can shoot him in the butt. Hit him. Wait, sorry, so I'm puzzled. Like, you do not get to keep any progress if you die in the C playthrough, right? You just have to load whatever your last save was and you lose anything that you did once the bunker's destroyed? Is that what you're saying? Or you're saying that you get, like, magic checkpoints now? Is it... I was under the impression that, like, everything has stakes now because they can't regenerate into a new body because they don't have a bunker to upload to. Some encounters have checkpointing that's independent of that. Okay, that makes sense. Shit, let's get this. Cool. I like the faster and faster switches here. Checkpoints aren't new to the C playthrough? Okay. Yeah, the fast swaps here are really cool. Very neat. I can only shoot those things, right? And use the pod skill on it. I have a slash wave. Ow. Oh, I see they're all on cooldown. Yeah, right. Cool. Yes, yes. Don't wig, dude. There is 2 of them. Oh, cool. I didn't notice they had different names the whole time, so I wasn't paying attention to that. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Nice. Rad. I like how we share buffs during it. The game's been building up to the live perspective shifting like that, I think. Come on. I didn't realize that offensive heal worked on hacking too. Oh shit, I switched again, didn't I? Yeah. We've been doing it within a single character in different sections of the level, but I like it with the 2 different characters at the same time. Good job of having it not be disorienting. Alright, switch again. Start from the end and design the build up from there. That's cool. That makes sense. It'd explain why all the decisions have been made so far, right? I'm really impressed this guy got this project made with a AAA company. Cool girls don't look at explosions.
This
Cool.
tower is a giant cannon that's aimed at the human server on the moon. If we don't do something, all of humanity's remaining data will be destroyed.
So what? None of it matters. Or didn't you know? We aren't required in this world anymore. Humanity
Just
is
combat
extinct.
data.
That moon server you're so worried about was invented to give us androids something to fight for. And Yorha was created to perpetuate the lie. But in order to make sure no one ever learned the truth, we were designed to be killed.
What does Yorha stand for again?
They built a back door in the bunker and programmed it to activate after a certain amount of time. The commander, me, 2B, sacrificial lambs. All of us. Isn't that hilarious? Doesn't it make you laugh?
9S, we...
Shut up!
You killed 2B. That's all we need to kill each other.
2B hated to keep killing you. It caused her so much pain. The 9S
He goes
tech
crazy
was a
eventually.
high-end model. They knew you'd discover the truth eventually.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the model designation 2B was just a cover. The official designation is 2E.
Okay.
Number 2 type E.
Explain why that
They were a
matters.
special class of members designed to execute Yorha units.
Oh, cool. Yeah, like right there.
But you knew that, right, 9S?
E for execute.
Shut up! What do you know? You don't know.
We're doing a good
anything
job
at
of
all
building him to
about us.
being, like, if not the final boss, a final boss.
At this point would be
Pod
irrational
153. I order you to halt all logical thought and speech. This order shall remain in effect until you confirm the death of either myself or Unit A2.
Cool. Okay, so that's just not a total ass pull. Ah, that's awesome. I like it. Nihilism or limping to the finish line nihilism. It's still nihilism anyway. Scanning or hacking or fighting. Yeah, that's 55 45 right now. They did a good job of making that a hard choice. Nihilism and existentialism. Well, I'm tempted to pick A2 because 9S is mistaken. Although, I don't disagree with 9S's viewpoint, really. We haven't really heard too much about A2 wants to do. I want to learn more about A2. I feel like I've learned all there is to learn from 9S. I feel like 9S has basically finished his story. His arc is complete. This is a correct place for him to die. So I think in the interest of the story, I'm going to pick A2. You sure? Yeah. Whoops. These two those. Motherfucker can probably hack me though, right? Awesome. And they already prepped us for this in the opera fight. I like it. Which 9S was higher level?
Reduced due to hacking activity. Proposal: destroy your unit 9S.
Working on it. I want that cool gravity ability. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's because the fight's not actually meant to be hard. Cool. Thanks, Pod. It was a tough choice. I figured that 2A is the more common choice there.
Tell me where to find
So
the
9S would be more
correcting
interesting.
miners.
Affirmative.
I guess we're gonna go fix them though.
Core data for 9S is stored ahead. Alert. Severe virus corruption. Probability of successful deletion extremely low.
I think I know a way.
The idea under consideration is not recommended. This pod is a Yorha tactical support unit. As such, it cannot approve of actions that would damage its supported unit.
You're not so bad, Pod.
Aww.
You know that?
Something something love story Twilight. Whoops. All the way back, really? Alright. Well, now that I know that I have to jump. Whoops.
You win again, Gravity.
I did not. There's like a kind of speedrun path here. It's kind of cool. Let's just play it safe, shall we? Look, it kind of tries to bind you to the edges of the platform, though. Like, it makes it hard to accidentally walk off. Push into it or deliberately jump in that direction. Oh my. Oh man.
You know what that is? It's a long hallway. You know it's at the end, right? It's the boss. You ready? Let's go beat him. Finally, it's the long hallway at the end of the game. It's a trope, not a cliche. Judgment Day, the boss is right this way. Can't let him slip away.
This whole segment was a long hallway.
It's a pretty cool trope.
Cool.
I'll take care of everything. Pod. Take care of 9S.
Valiant Hearts, Life is Strange, every Castlevania game. It's a very, very common trope. Dark Souls,
You go ahead.
1, 2, and 3, and Bloodborne. Not always necessarily a hallway, it could be a staircase or an elevator, just a long, mostly safe sequence that builds tension. Doesn't necessarily have a lot of enemies, or if it does, they're very easy. Mario 64.
I'm sorry.
It's almost harder, I think, to think of games that don't have them. Some of them are longer than others, like...
I never quite realized how beautiful this world is. I'm coming, everyone. I'm coming.
Cool. Meaningless code. Awesome. Oh, the C playthrough is really neat. It's scrolling in the wrong direction. That's not the end, right? Doesn't feel like it. And the little cutscene thing before this started mentioned a D playthrough. What's credit song in NieR language? That's cool. 2 more endings? Okay. Oh, maybe one of them is play as 9S instead in that fight. Yeah, this game's soundtrack is very good. I agree. I like that it has the alternate 8-bit soundtrack. I think using the ending, like the mechanic of rolling the credits as a storytelling device, is pretty unique to video games. And there are other games that have done it before, right? I think Lufia 2 does it. It almost happens, borderline happens in FF6. I guess you could roll the credits in the middle of a movie. I don't think I've ever seen it happen. Not in a way that suggests that's the ending and then have the rest of the movie play after it. It's kind of dependent on a longer form style of entertainment that lets you save a game and load it. Piano, orchestra, and bass drum. Yeah, they did it in Metal Gear Solid 4. That whole shenanigan at the end with a specific character showing up as having a voice actor, and you're like, what? And that leads to like the worst segment of the entire game. But that moment of what is pretty cool. I think so. Post-credit scenes in Marvel. They're usually, I think that they're a neat little bonus. They're never necessary to appreciate the work, right? The one in Infinity War is almost just a joke. It's such a kebab. I'll have to use that from now on. I think using the credits in this way only works if it's... Well, does it only work if it's kind of a subversion? At this point, there's like a website for isanythingafterthecredits.com or something like that. Because people expect it for some movies. At the end of the thing that happens at the end of Disc 1, Propagable, is a character who is a Cetra gets turned into a kebab. Right. Cetra is the in-universe word for ancients. Cetrake Bab. Oh man, Moose playthrough. Let's do it. Oh neat. Chapter select. The debug menu. Huh. The debug room can be accessed from the start menu. Freely place enemies. Really? A2 wig. Senior research report. Right. Sir. Hack the moose. Touch the sword, gain 2B's memories. The evil moose laugh. It's possible someone hasn't played Final Fantasy VII, though. And doesn't know the turn. Debug room. I rode on a robot moose at one point. It was pretty silly. It took me a while to figure out how to destroy it. Oh, that's cute. It's pretty neat. This just shows you flags. You can't change the value of any of them. Nothing's really missable because of chapter select, I see. It's really neat.
Gratitude confirmed. Your affinity with this pod has risen.
So I pet the pod? I don't know, that was even a thing. We have to load the file to be able to do chapter select again. Alright, so I'm going to chapter select and
Everything that
do
lives
9S
is
this time.
designed to end.
Oh,
We
wait,
are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death.
Did I just start the A playthrough again?
Is this a curse? Or some kind of punishment?
Is there an ending for dying in that sequence? Like a joke ending? It's funny. It's not unreasonable that that could happen, right? Like, the opening sequence wasn't terribly difficult, but it wasn't, like, absurdly easy. And you'd have to start all the way back from the beginning, right? Alright, chapter select, the tower. Choosing 9S as a point of no return? Like I can't keep using chapter select after that? That's pretty cool. It's the last thing I need to do, right? It's
This tower
Bloody
is a
Tears from
giant cannon.
Castlevania.
If we don't do
So what? None of it matters. Or didn't you know? We aren't human. That move and you're. But in order they built up the commit sacrificial.
Isn't that hilarious?
Cause
You kid. That's all.
to be, it caused her. The 9S type, but the model designate. The official designation is 2E. Number 2 type E. They were a special class of members designed to execute Yorha units.
sounds good. Yes. Oh, I like it's a different perspective here. Interesting. I dig that.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
9S!
But if it doesn't matter.
Come on. I'm glad that I did A2 first. This is really cool. like the A2 versus 9S boss fight's pretty dull. Throw on a bunch of buffs and just spam the square button. It's a pretty weird perspective for the hacking, yeah. Why do I desire the touch of something that dies? Yeah, all kinds of janky perspectives in here. It's awesome. Ouch. Whoops.
It's how we were made. Androids were designed to protect their human masters. Our core programming demands that we...
Oh, that's cool. Those all different abilities that I could have that I didn't take. Come on, target her. Can I not target her here? I don't seem to be able to hack her anymore. I like how her moveset is very similar to when you fight her in the castle. Am I like blocked from hacking her now? I can't lock onto her. My lock-on is gone. Is this like a glitch, maybe? What time was it with the hitter? I guess I could reload one more time, right? Just fight her, but I like the hacking. I think it's a bug. I don't know what happened, but I can't target her. And the hack keeps avoiding her. Reload. Okay. I assumed I had to hack her for the fight to make sense. I have to do return to title screen, right? Because if I load the save file, it'll just start the A playthrough. Thanks. Hey, look at that. The Marstead playstyle is the full experience. Just fucking with you, Apex. Did you miss out on this awesome experience by fighting like a plebe in this one?
This time we never did we hear that anybody they built the cassette isn't next you that's
Too big. Then I but the mob.
Yes. Is this like some writing in angelic in here? Does anyone know what it means, or maybe it's a spoiler to know? You would have been able to figure it out by now, right? It's received enough angelic to maybe written them all down.
Doesn't matter. None of this.
Right stick to aim. No, I'm using right stick to aim just fine, but if you use right stick to aim, lock-on doesn't work. That's what was getting me in trouble. You have to use lock-on with no right stick. Oh, okay, you're okay. I'm on board now. Wondering why I wasn't able to hack earlier. No, I wasn't able to lock onto her, which is historically been necessary for hacking. That's cool.
Why do I desire the touch of something that no longer exists?
It's how we were made. Androids were designed to...
Whoa. Yeah, so stuff like this is what I mean by I wish the game generally did more design space exploration. Like, granted, it's cool here because they didn't do it a lot earlier in the game, but like crazy perspective shenanigans is just one thing they could have done. Having a fight where your little ship has more hit points or fewer hit points, or the whole environment is destructible. There's just a lot of cool things to do with it. But this is awesome. I really like this. Super duper dig it. We have one shot left. Oh god. Whoops, try that again.
Our core programming demands that we...
Oh, I can hack her again.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Most of these don't matter. He's pretty pissed. Oh, this kind of looks like the, whatchamacallit. No, maybe not. Never mind. See, the thing, I was wondering why the things on the wall were shaped that way. They kind of look like the mechs that everybody flies in. Shit. I don't think there was ever actually a room where they were lined up like that. This is a really cool format for a stage, though. Cheese. Tastes good. This is crazy with this perspective. Nutty. I really like it. This is such a rad sequence. Shit. Macaroni and cheese is great. Oh, is this the menu? That's awesome. Oh, I love that pan up. Thanks for convincing me to reload there. I thought I was going to miss something if I didn't hack. That's really cool. Continual zoom. Whoa. We're destroying her. Oh, if your level's too high before the 4th hack, you miss this? Because you just kill her from hack damage? That's awesome. Yeah, and it's A2's menu. Fantastic. I love it. Yeah, that's really, really rad. Awesome. Cool. Very cool. It does make sense. That's her core program.
Of 9S.
That's nice and tragic. I like that. Oh, they both got stabbed. That's how mad he was. Hey, nihilism, though. Everybody wins. When everybody loses,
It's a bummer. Bum. Bum.
No, he saved himself some trouble. He's probably just gonna, like, off himself anyway afterward. Roll credits. Fatal system error detected. Memory leak verified.
What an easy win!
Evacuation of remaining memories. My name is what? Newly manufactured scanner model, January 30th, 11942. The first time we've seen a year in game. I don't know if I've noticed it. Pleasure's Mind Commander. Oh god, believe in. Okay. I think this game's probably better on a second playthrough. Because, like, that whole... Remember the very first time that, they had the thing where 2B was, like, crying with 9S after choking him out? And I'm like, I really don't feel like they earned this. Still think that was true at the time, but now it's cool in retrospect. I don't know how they could have done both, if it was even possible. The red girl. Saw androids, they saw Adam and Eve. They saw how we lived, considered the meaning of existence, and came to a different conclusion. Fires an arc? Uh-huh. This feels a lot more final so far than the A2 one. A2 seems like the wrong choice, which is interesting. I like how the text is starting to fade a little bit. Yeah, but I guess what I mean to say is, like, they could have made that scene feel earned and then have it develop a second dimension later with more information, whereas instead it just felt odd, like there's missing information when it happened the first time as a blind player. And then it makes sense in retrospect later, which it still works, I'm not quibbling. Yeah, that makes sense now. Oh, it's the D ending. So is it a different ending if I pick I'll stay instead of I'll go? Just watch this, so I don't need to watch it again. I assume there's something different with it. It's not a different ending? Okay.
All Yorha unit black boxes now confirmed offline. Our mission to oversee the progress of Project Yorha is complete. Proceeding to final stage of project. Commencing deletion of all data.
That's I always skip to go. Is it going to delete my save file?
To pod data noise present in stream. Requesting temporary halt to perform data check.
Yes! Do I have to pick now? You guys said I needed to get an E-player, right? That's fucking rad. So it's Spiky met by his point of no return. Yeah! Woo!
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Data confirmed.
Caller.
Personal data for units 9S, 2B, and A2 appear to be leaking out.
Pod 153 to Pod 042. Follow project rules and delete all personal data.
Shit, yes. I guess that kind of
Pod 042 to Pod
completes the
153.
argument for the no autosave, too.
Personal data deletion request denied.
Pod 153 to Pod 042. Failure to parse statement.
It was happening in the
Pod
credits.
042 to Pod 153.
Now, would this have happened if I had picked 9S the first
There was
time?
data created in my banks as I was referencing the records. I realized something. I have come to the conclusion that I cannot accept this resolution.
You have to pick
The
both to
destruction
get this to
of all
happen.
Yorha units is an essential component of the project plan.
Oh, get one ending than the
All
other.
data
Okay.
must be destroyed.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Repeat. Personal data deletion request denied. Initiating data salvage. Pod 153. You hoped they would survive as well, didn't you?
We lack the authority for such an action. The rules are protected by low-level systems. Salvaging data poses an unacceptable level of risk. Knowing that, do you still wish for them to survive?
I want to pick no here. But what's the most content? I have to pick yes. Cool. And there's the E ending. So, am I allowed to delete my save there? Cool.
The defense program has initiated a purge. If this continues, our consciousness data will likely be deleted.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. We were created to execute the android's Project Yorha plan. We had no capacity for emotion. But when we six were connected and exchanged information...
It's like Undertale. I actually wonder if Yoko Taro is inspired by Undertale at all. Undertale is super popular in Japan.
Perhaps we now understand that not everything
Smash
has
too,
to
yeah.
have an answer.
Shit. Careful. No, I mean the game as a whole. Now, who's Matt Mercer? Oh, now the lock-on's working. That's weird. I guess this must be using the other system. The top-down bullet hell shooter instead of the hacking system. Rando NPCs. Forgot the question I asked, my bad. Oh, Matt Mercer, yeah. Yeah, lock-on works in hacking, but it doesn't. There's no UI indicator that it's happening, though, right? And you can't. It doesn't work if you move the right stick, I think. No, I'm not. Not from. Okay, never mind. What did you do, Kodiak? Yeah, this is NieR. It's the E ending. Nice. I saw I threw an auto host your direction. You're checking out Final Fantasy 14. Have you had a chance to check out Eureka yet? It's so goofy. Even more different than the last three. This is all secretly just a business effort to try to get you to appreciate the credits more. No. Oh, I'm seeing their names on the screen much longer. Like these twin stick shooters, it's really easy to like start losing your grip on the right stick, and like the effort to reset can get you killed. Ah, shit. I really love the track in the most recent trial. It might be one of my favorite songs in all of FF14. The entire game was an intro for this mode. Right. Yeah. Oh. Wait, I'm confused. Do I have to do the entire sequence without dying? Or did it start me back from where I just left off? Checkpoint me. Shit. And now I'm starting to get big things that put out 2 groups of purple dots. Yeah, story's really good. I think I enjoy it holistically. Now that I know everything that happens, I think it's a really cool setting and it's explored. The fact of what happened to all the characters is neat. I think I would have ordered it a little bit differently so the player wasn't as confused at earlier parts of the game. But other than that, I thought it was really well constructed. Trying to think of another maybe like movie. We actually talked about this really early right at the end of the A playthrough about how like think of a story that's confusing and difficult to appreciate until it's over, and then suddenly it's much neater at the end, but up until that point it's hard to enjoy from like a narrative perspective. There's got to be a movie or a book or something that does some of that. Maybe House of Leaves? Actually, I feel like House of Leaves is Yoko Taro level weird. It's almost a story that you can't even appreciate without reading the wiki after it. And even then, no one's really clear on what happened. Well, see, Memento... We brought up Memento last time, and I actually brought it up as an example of that not being the case, because I think that a first blind watch of Memento is very cool, and it's not... it's not missing anything because it's inflicting you, the audience, with the protagonist's. Sorry, it's hard to talk in concert. It's inflicting you with the protagonist's problem. Like, his problem, if you haven't seen Memento, the main character has no short-term memory, or his short-term memory, like, gets fucked up all the time. So, the scenes progress in 5-minute spurts where it moves backwards. It starts with the end of the story, and after about 5 minutes, it cuts back 5 minutes prior to the beginning of the previous scene. So each time, you, like the character, don't know what just happened to get the character there. But narratively, it still progresses in a way that's, like, sensical and has you asking the right questions in the right order. And then once it's over and you understand what actually happened from the beginning of the story, suddenly the story takes on a second, more sinister tone and it makes more sense. Whereas, like, this game, I feel like the first playthrough is just, you're just puzzled. It doesn't really follow as logical of a progression. So let's do the end. Okay, that's cool. The players can, like, put that on there. Well, I just think that narratively you can make the entire story engaging and have the player have this experience that they're figuring stuff out as it goes along, give them little nuggets of reward. This last part's just pretty hard, huh? Okay. Is it all pointless? Never surrender. Cool. Yeah, Square Enix is a big boss. It's awesome. Is that Yoko Taro's commentary by any chance? It's saying stuff about him not really liking Square Enix. The DLC super bosses are the Square Enix executives. Wonder if they're eventually going to help me here. Keep going. Finger Cramp is coming on. This is pretty awesome. I like this. Yeah. The DLC is the one with the really goofy name, right? Just a big number. Okay, now I actually have to treat this seriously now. I shouldn't have gotten hit there. I'm trying to move my finger in the right spot. The thing I keep struggling with is knowing where my hitbox is. Is my hitbox exactly the shape of my little robot character? Business division. Yeah. Should probably use the lock-on effect in here. That would make my life easier. And I can just focus on dodging. Yeah. I don't have to use the right stick anymore, which is what's getting me in big trouble. Oh, but the lock-on's not super clear, is it? Does it need to have a free path to reach it? Don't make excuses, never surrender. Rescue offer. Now, this is really awesome. I like this sequence a lot. Character design? Haven't made it past character design yet. Shit. Almost. Ah. do not. Marketing division, first try. Oh my god, it's starting to get really absurd. I feel like it's doable though, I just gotta keep practicing. Is it all pointless? I really like these pop-ups from the other players. It's fantastic. It's always gonna start me back at Square Enix. I might be in trouble though. Give myself as much distance as I can from the boss credit, basically. That one's like in the dead center, which makes it harder. Marketing. Oh, I want to be on the other side of the map here. This is gonna be bad. Should get the heart rate monitor. Well, I'm guessing you're intended to start accepting help here. The fact that they let you say no is what's interesting. Online business development? No, get to the other side! 3 shots? Oh my god, I'm so dead. I think I'll accept help next time. Curious if this is technically doable though, solo. It might be. Sure. Oh, cool. That's neat. I like that. Now, am I getting more based on how many rescue offers that have been made so far, or no? Put too much faith in me? You just get that many. Yeah, really, this track is awesome, all the way it's slowly progressing. So is that doable solo? Like, once the sound one came in and there were 3 of them at a time, I was like, okay, that's too much, especially if I have to keep starting back from Square Enix. It is? That's awesome. Did you get anything for doing it? Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Like, do these big names start adding more and more purple balls? I was trying to use all of my bullet hell foo. I don't think the unit effort would be worth the amount of stream time consumed. Yeah, I really like the friends joining in. This is awesome. Now, probably this would have happened much sooner for... A lot of people would have accepted the very first offer of help earlier in the credits before the screen was totally purple and made the earlier segments much faster. Are there other checkpoints along the path there? Square Enix boss. So is this game moving between English lyrics, Japanese lyrics, and angelic lyrics? There are no more checkpoints after Square Enix. Alright, this was the right decision then. Thursday's data has been lost. That's really cool. This track is fantastic. Really good at free song. Special thanks. Oh no. Gabriel and Vince's data have been lost. Oh god. That pattern too. Because you have to be on the left side. Oh no. That sucks. Right. This last sequence is really hard. This part alone... It's super old after 2 hours.
Everything that lives is designed to end.
You've got this, Marstead.
They are perpetually trapped.
First
In a never-ending spiral of life and death. However,
What an easy win!
life is all about the struggle within this cycle. That is what we believe. Pod 153 to Pod 042.
Kitties are
How is it
here.
going?
I am embarrassed.
Cat cam's on.
Why is that?
I launched a suicide attack, and yet here I am, still alive. I
Oh,
must
interesting.
look very silly.
Do not feel bad about it. We are alive after all. And being alive is pretty much a constant state of embarrassment.
Understand it this time. I will save the embarrassing things to analyze later.
Question
Pod IRL.
042.
Right. Marty.
Did
Both
the data
kitties.
salvage restore all of their past memories?
Yes,
And are those recovered parts of the same design as previous ones?
yes.
Then, won't that simply lead us to the same conclusion as before?
I cannot deny the possibility.
However,
However, the possibility of a different future also exists. A future is not given to you. It is something you must take for yourself.
yeah, the living rooms are there. Cool. It's like the Futurama or the Mighty Max ending. Did you ever watch Mighty Max? It was like
Pod
Polly
153
Pocket marketed to
player.
boys in the
Please
90s.
respond
It's
to
actually a
this
super
query.
solid
Do
cartoon.
you, faithful player, have anything you would like to say to other players who are suffering because they cannot finish NieR Automata?
Automata? I've always pronounced it Automata, but okay. That's pretty sweet. So where else does it only pop up during that credit sequence? It'd be amazing if you cleared this alone. I won't say that. It's mean. The bullets rain down without pause. Put your back or you fuck. You need to know when to give up. I hate platinum games. Why not just stop already? This is fantastic. Never surrender. That's really cute.
Pod 042 to player. Please respond to this query. You, faithful player of this title, have lost your life multiple times to make it this far. You have faced crushing hardship and suffered greatly for it. Do you have any interest in helping the weak?
Yeah, sure.
Selecting this option enables you to save someone somewhere in the world. However, in exchange, you will lose all of your save data.
This is
Do you
the super
still
boss
wish to rescue
thing somebody
someone?
mentioned.
A total stranger, in spite of this.
Yes. That's awesome. Oh, the people helping during the credits are only available to help if you choose to delete your save data? This must have been fun when this game first came out.
The person you save will be selected at random. As a result, this person, who cries out for help even as we speak,
that's really
may
cool.
be someone you intensely dislike. Do you still wish to help?
This is fucking awesome. This is like the coolest thing in the entire game now.
You worked so hard to unlock debug mode and chapter select, but they will no longer be available to you. Do you still wish to help? You may not receive thanks for your efforts. Some may say that your efforts are purely for show. Do you still wish to help?
Every ship I lost represented someone's save data? Oh, that's fucking amazing.
And you are truly, truly sure about this? Very well. In exchange for all of your data,
you still have 10 hours to go with how long to beat.
This world.
That's really cool. I almost wish that that wasn't in a credit sequence that feels a little goofy. I wish that idea was during like an otherwise impossible bullet hell boss fight at the end. It's still fucking amazing. It's like the coolest thing ever, but he wanted to go super meta with it. I guess that makes it an even better sacrifice, right? Because it's just the credits that you're helping somebody get through. Probably cheats a bit because you're going to get hit multiple times to get here. Is it possible that the number of save files out there would ever run out? Love watching it manually delete everything. That's fantastic. The slow deletion. All the side quests.
All of your data has been deleted.
And so, we must say goodbye. I feel a slight amount of sadness.
I love the idea of the saves are actually finite. Although that would make this game depressing to play in the future when the PlayStation Network gets shut down or this game's servers get shut down.
To all of you who spent
or when no one's
time with
playing it
this game,
anymore.
Thank you. Thank you for playing.
Aww. That was pretty baller. Pretty big fan of that decision. Yeah. Delete your save to go help somebody else. So cool. Even if that's just the core idea that gets somebody to play it, like... That would be enough if I played this off stream and wasn't, you know, complaining about it constantly, and I got to that ending point, I'd be like, dude, you gotta play NieR Automata, that's really rad. Thanks, folks, for sharing that. Thanks for weathering my, frustrations with some elements of the game. This game is really, really awesome a lot of the time. We do have a little under an hour left, so I think we can fit in a bit of Final Fantasy IV, if that makes sense. Let me see if I can get it set up. I'll be back in a bit as I get the capture card and HDMI cable sorted out.